When you get sick, what happens to you? Very often people, especially children, have inflamed lymphatic nodes. If your child has frequent tonsillitis or adenoids, track down what they get an exacerbation on. Often pathogenic microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, viruses, toxins, and even tumor cells spread precisely by a lymphogenic pathway that is through the lymphatic system. The human body contains 2, 4, 5 liters of lymph. If a person develops lymphostasis, then various pathological conditions and diseases can begin. Flabbiness, swelling on the abdomen, thighs and buttocks, cellulite, pelvic congestion including hemorrhoids. Everyone has now touched their cellulite. Breathing practices help to engage the diaphragm, which is a muscular fibrous septum in breathing. It separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. So why do we need to engage the diaphragm in breathing? The fact that through the diaphragm passes the esophagus and important vessels, aorta, inferior vena cava, and thoracic lymphatic duct. And the normal work of the diaphragm contributes to the flow of blood and lymph through these vessels. Many people know that there is arterial blood and venous blood, which moves from their respective blood vessels. Arterial blood brings oxygen and nutrients to the cell of our body, while venous blood takes the carbon dioxide and metabolic waste products. But few people know why we need lymph. What is it, and why it's important to get your lymphatic system pumping? Let's briefly go over this important point. First, let's take a closer look at lymph and the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is an important part of the cardiovascular system, which for some reason doctors neglect, and in vain. Now I'm going to show you the importance of the lymphatic system. Lymph, from the Latin lympha, pure water, moisture, is a component of the internal environment of the human body, an important fluid that connects cell, tissues of the body and blood vessels, that is arterial and venous blood. The human body contains 2, 4, 5 liters of lymph. This fluid has many important functions. First, lymph returns electrolytes, proteins and water from the intracellular space to the bloodstream. Second, lymph carries a large number of substances that are absorbed in the GI tract during digestion, including proteins and fats. Third, lymph has an important immune function. Lymph flows through the lymphatic vessels through the lymphatic nodes. Lymphatic nodes are peripheral organs of the lymphatic system, so to speak, roadblocks that perform biological and immunologic surveillance. Lymphatic nodes perform the function of removing from the lymph all unnecessary toxins, slags, decay products, and pathogens. So they are sometimes called lymphatic filters. When you get sick, what happens to you? Very often people, especially children, have inflamed lymphatic nodes. The fact is that often pathogenic microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, viruses, and toxins, and even tumor cells spread precisely by a lymphogenic pathway that is through the lymphatic system. That is why it is so important to carefully examine the pathways of lymph flow from certain organs when malignant neoplasms are suspected. The supra- and subclavian lymphatic nodes, muscular, parasternal, axillary lymphatic nodes, can become enlarged before a well-defined breast tumor is formed. Therefore, it's important to examine the areas of these lymphatic nodes very carefully on ultrasound or other examinations. The immune function of lymph is not only manifested through the lymphatic nodes. The intestinal wall contains a large number of lymphatic cells, which are represented in the form of lymphatic nodes. They are called Peyer's plaques. These lymphatic nodes play an important role in the body. They are involved in the formation of specific antibodies in areas of the mucous membrane remote from the focus of primary sensitization. What does this mean? If your child has frequent tonsillitis or adenoids, track down what they get an exacerbation on. It's not necessarily caused by bacteria or viruses or something cold that your child ate or drank the day before. Maybe it's a reaction to sweets and flour. Think about it. One more thing, if you have frequent allergic reactions, what's going on with your gut? How are you eating? Do you have abdominal bloating, stool problems, belching, heartburn, nausea, and other digestive symptoms? Do you do liver, gallbladder, and colon cleanses? Also something to think about. Let's return to lymph. The movement of lymph is always centripetal, that is, from the periphery to the center of the body, more precisely to the lymphatic ducts that flows into large veins. Once again, lymph doesn't move from the bottom up. More specifically, this is a very limited understanding of lymph flow. For example, in the legs, yes, lymph moves from the bottom to top when you stand. But if you lie down and put your legs up on the back of the sofa, lie with your legs up, and what happens? That your legs are up and lymph moves not from bottom to top, but vice versa. Lymph has changed its movement through the vessels? No, lymph moves from the periphery of the body to the center of the chest, from the distal parts, those farther from the center of the body, to the proximal parts, those closer to the center of the body. This is important to understand because massage of the face, cervical collar area, back, abdomen, arms, and legs should always be done along the course of lymph flow. If you want to know for sure how lymph flows, download the lymph flow chart in my Telegram channel, the link below this video. So lymph flows through lymphatic vessels that collect into trunks and flow into lymphatic ducts. The largest lymphatic duct passes through the diaphragm. The abdominal wall of this duct is fused to the right leg of the diaphragm, and during respiratory movements, the wall of the thoracic duct is compressed, and thus the lymph is pushed further. Blood flows through the blood vessels due to the work of the heart, and lymph flows through the lymphatic vessels thanks to the diaphragm. So the diaphragm is actually the heart of the lymphatic system. Other factors that also affect the movement of blood and lymph through the vessels are suction action of the chest, muscle contraction, the presence of valves that prevent the reverse flow of blood and lymph, normal posture when the organs are not squeezed. Therefore, if the diaphragm is spasmed, not moving enough, it will lead a sedentary lifestyle. Do not engage in regular physical exercise. If we stress a lot, do not do breathing practices. If we have a disturbed posture and are constantly slouching, then our diaphragm spasm compresses the lymphatic duct and other large vessels, which will lead to lymphostasis. If a person develops lymphostasis and the process of lymphatic outflow is disturbed, then various pathological conditions and diseases can begin. Flabbiness, swelling on the abdomen, thighs and buttocks, cellulite, pelvic congestion including hemorrhoids. Lymphatic swelling is called lymphedema, and it's something I've often seen in people with varicose veins of the lower extremities. Of course, lymphostasis is not the only cause of varicose veins and hemorrhoids. There are heredity, pregnancy and childbirth, heavy physical exertion, violation of the liver, which synthesize important amino acids, proteins and enzymes that affect the state of both the vascular wall and the blood coagulation system. That is, coagulation. If you are interested in the topic of varicose veins and hemorrhoids, the causes of their development and treatment measures, then let me know in the comments below. There are many causes that together can lead to varicose veins and hemorrhoids, but very often varicosis is provoked precisely by stagnation of lymph. That is lymphostasis. Lymphatic stagnation also plays an important role in the onset and progression of cellulite. In cellulite, there are structural changes in the fatty tissue, impaired circulation and lymphatic flow. If you have cellulite, you've probably noticed that this area is usually cooler than other parts of your body, right? Everyone has now touched their cellulite. In the previous video, I talked about the benefits of breathing practices that will help you not only to avoid the lymph stagnation and all related health problems. They will help you get rid of balding belly and cellulite, swelling and flabbiness in the lower half of your body. I will tell you about the most powerful, effective practice in the next video. Take care of your body, mind and lymphatic flow. Your Dr. Zarifa Romanova.